All right, welcome back to Shameful Locks. My name is Gabriel Acosta, Blake Profio. One of my sides here, maybe up or down, not sure. But welcome back, week NFL 6 here for you. It is currently Thursday night. We are back to our regular scheduled recording time. Currently, it is halftime for the Broncos at Chiefs. Broncos look really bad. It is 13-0 Chiefs. Some of us may have bet the Broncos tonight. Not feeling good about it. But we'll roll past it and we'll get to it. Recap time, week 5. Some of us had a decent week, some of us didn't. I had my third winning week in a row. Felt pretty good. Blake unfortunately did have another losing week, but you know what we can say? We started off with our rebranding last week. If you did or didn't watch, we went ahead and kept it with our usual one game prop, one player prop, and then our new rebranded, instead of a wild card, we're doing a Shame-Ful lock, which is just essentially our favorite bet of the week, a best bet. We did go 2-0 in our Shame-Ful locks last week, which felt pretty good to start those off with a bang. I'll recap here real quick. So I had Chiefs Vikings under 53, about as sweaty as it could be. I definitely got some questionable ref ball at the end with a pass interference and one of the players taking their helmets off. But I mean, when you're back at the Chiefs, that's the kind of thing that happens. I'm not saying anything's fishy, but when it helps you and makes you money, I mean, you're not going to talk. You're just going to be quiet about it and say, hey, win's a win. My one loss of the week, I had Michael Wilson over 37.5 receiving yards. That did not go. He had 2 targets, and they both came in under 2 minutes left in the game. Even the commentators were going, man, we just aren't seeing any of the other receivers step up, mostly like Michael Wilson. I'm sitting there sitting on my couch going, yeah, where the hell is Michael Wilson? I just he didn't get anything going. I think he had like 18 yards for off one catch, which halfway there, it's still a loss. Yeah. And then my Shameful lock of the week, I did a little same game parlay of CJ Stroud, 225 passing yards, parlayed with under 49.5 in the Texans Falcons game. Both of those hit pretty easily. I think the final score was 21-19. Falcons and Mr. Checkdown won. But Stroud, I think it actually was a little sweaty on the yards. I don't think he hit that till like the final drive of the game that he had the ball.
Yeah.
But 1-0 on my Shameful locks, so that's pretty good. If you tailed on my picks, I went up 1 unit exactly. So that's good. I am now sitting at 7-8 on the year. I am currently down 1.25 units, which, I mean, honestly, I'm not mad about that. I started off really poorly. I started out with a 2-1 or a 1-2 week, and then followed that up in week 2 with an 0-3 week. But since then, I've been finishing 2-1 in the 3 straight weeks. So feels good in Camp Gabe right now. Blake, we'll cover your picks from last week real quick. You had the under and the Cowboys 49ers game at under 45. Let you talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I was just following the trends of unders in Sunday Night Football, but I mean, Dallas kind of screwed me over there. They let up a little too many points there, but I think it only went over by 7 points. So I mean, it was about one possession away, but it was rough. That was rough.
It definitely looked like Dallas got the memo about you taking the under, but the 49ers, just like how George Kittle did, lifted up the shirt with the fuck Dallas. Definitely said fuck Blake Profio in the under. As he personally scored 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Second loss. I know we don't like to talk about losses, but I mean, we like to be transparent here with how we're doing. You had Derrick Henry over 80 rushing yards. Not quite sure what he finished with, but I don't think he even got close, did he?
No, I can't remember what he was at. I think maybe he got like halfway there. I think he finished with like 44. But yeah, it happened again. The rookie, he got about half the carries and was getting the late game carries because they were losing. So that didn't go as planned. So I'm gonna stay away from Henry now. He won me that first little parlay I had, but I don't know. I just think it's not, his value isn't there. at the moment. So
Yeah, might have to hurry up and catch back up on that in a few weeks at a buy low spot. But you are
yeah,
currently 1-1 on Derrick Henry related bets.
that's true.
And then your bright spot here, your shameful lock of the week, was Brees Hall over 60.5 rushing yards. Uh, Easy as can be.
Yeah, that was my best bet of the year. I mean, he shattered that. What do you have, like 180, 170? He killed that mark. So I
I
mean,
think he had like a 72 rushing yard touchdown. So he covered that in one play.
yeah, yeah. So that one felt good, especially being my shameful lock. So yeah, looking to bounce back this week and go 3-0. I think I got some good picks. I think Gabe's got some good picks too. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. That's some good love over there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good vibes,
Um,
good vibes.
Pull up the correct sheet here. All right. Before we get started here with the picks, talk about real quick. We do have a few bye weeks. Packers, our Supreme Leaders team, look like shit. Somehow worse than our Steelers. But both our teams look really bad. But both of them are on a much needed bye week right now. Those are the only teams on a bye week. And real quick, before we talk about our picks, I don't know if it was just me or you, but I think like usually when I go out and look for my picks, I like to look up based off matchups and statistics and stuff like that. But I feel like it was kind of harder to find picks that I really liked. I had to spend a little bit longer. As you can see, I didn't have time to shave today. I look a little homeless,
Yeah.
but you know what that means? I was spending more time gambling, finding the correct plays for the people,
Hmm.
So I mean, I had my priorities right. But I don't know about you, but I definitely had to sit here and look and dive a little deeper than I normally do to find the picks I liked.
Yeah. Well, I originally really liked CD Lamb Monday night against the Chargers. I couldn't find a line on that, but it is a Monday night game, so I was like, okay, we'll move on. I also liked Sam Laporta for the Lions, but his prop wasn't up.
Of
Yeah, there were a
course.
couple. There were a couple that I didn't like. I mean, that weren't up there, so I kind of had to pivot on a couple of my picks. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure. Usually, most of the Sunday props are up there, so I don't know what's going on.
I also noticed that as well. Like there were some, I think specifically for the Jets Eagles game, if you're looking for props of that, like
Yeah.
here on a Thursday night, there's like two props and that's it. There was
Mhm.
nothing available. So definitely weird. I wonder if the books are catching on to us that we're trying to get these out early enough. But
Yeah.
guess they say screw you, wait till Friday morning. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. Do you want to start or do you want me to start? I'll let you pick.
I think you should start.
Me to start? All right, I can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. All right. So this week, again, if you're a new watcher or you're a current regular, like I said earlier, we are changing things up, doing a little rebranding. We're still doing our normal one game pick for each of us, one player prop for each of us, and then we're also doing one shameful lock. Again, that's just our best bet. Changing that up a little bit, but that'll be our last pick, obviously. But I will go ahead and give my game pick. So I am going to go ahead and go to the Vikings Bears game, and I'm going to go for another over. I'm going to go over 44.5. I got this from minus 105 on Barstool this morning. I actually noticed that the line has moved since then. It's actually dropped down to 43.5 at the same exact value at minus 105. So if you want to go grab that, props to you. But I already locked my bet in. So kind of stuck here, but that's okay. I still love it. So to start here, this line doesn't really make much sense to me unless you're just going with the classic, oh, it's a divisional game. It must be low scoring. I just don't like this line. I think this is way too low. The Bears have gone over this line in 4 of their 5 games this year. Their one miss, they hit exactly 44 points. We need 45.5. And then the Vikings have gone over this 44.5 line 3 of their 5 games. Combine those together, both of these teams together have gone over this 44.5 line 7 of their 10 total games. In their last 3 matchups, they've gone over this line 2 of 3 times. And that one miss came in week 18 of last year when the GOAT, Nathan Peterman, started. Justin Fields was nursing an injury, and the Bears gave Nathan Peterman the nod saying, screw it, we don't care anymore. It's week 18. Final was 29-13. So again, it was pretty darn close, even though good old Nathan P was out there.
Hmm.
But I want to start by talking about the Bears when I come here. Is the Bears The last 2 weeks are on an offensive resurgence, man. And I know I'm saying this as a diehard Justin Fields fan, and just again, I don't want to sound off as a homer, but I have the statistics to back up what I'm saying here. Fields, the last 2 games, has 8 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty darn good. Not a lot of other quarterbacks. I don't think any other quarterbacks have had 8 touchdowns in a 2-game span so far this year. So the offense is finally getting it together. They're finally getting the ball to DJ Moore, hint, hint. They're also just the offense just looks good, man. In the last 2 games, they scored 28 and 40 points. And I just think they're finally clicking, man. This is the offense I was expecting to see out the gate this year. They took the first 3 games off, it looked like, but looks like they're getting it together. The Bears D is pretty meh. They have allowed at least 20 points in every game this year, so that's good for our over. And it's just, I think that's exactly what you want to do is when you're looking for an over, is you want to find an offense that can score some points and sucks at D. And I think the Bears are a great target for that. And on the other side of the ball here, let's talk about the Vikings. And I know they just lost Justin Jefferson, which I know that's probably a big hit. I mean, that's one of the best receivers in football, if not the best. But I think the Vikings still have a pretty talented offense and a lot of good weapons. They still have Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. They still got some solid guys out there like KJ Osborne. Kirk loves to sling it, and he's not afraid to sling it. Even if he throws 2-3 picks, he's still going to go out there and just drop bombs and throw deep as much as he can. Again, I think the Vikings are also pretty meh when it comes to defense. They've allowed an average of 24.4 points per game this year. So if you combine those, we're actually at 44.4. If we combine those averages here, again, that's right there with the over here. But kind of look for the new look Bears offense to kind of keep things going, and hopefully both of these defenses continue to be meh.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I was going to comment on and say I like that pick, and I was going to comment Bears offense is buzzing, Vikings defense kind of sucks, and then I think Kirk's been having a pretty good year, and I'm still not very sold on the Bears defense, but you made all those points, so I was just reiterating what you were saying, but I do like that pick.
Thank you. I know I kind of rambled on, but I'm just really excited and passionate about that pick. I think I got all the stats and everything to back that one. I felt really good about that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, rolling into my game pick, my previous game picks have been based off of trends and stats, and I've gotten just obliterated trying to do that. So I'm going to make my game picks based off feel from now on, and I'm going to avoid points. So my game pick, I'm taking the Bengals -2.5 at home versus Seahawks. I got this at -118 on FanDuel. So I think last week, I think they had a pretty good week overall. Their defense played better than they have previously. Their offense was starting to click. You saw Joe Burrow feeding Jamar Chase. He had 15 receptions. I mean, that was basically the offense. But I think as a team, they're starting to find their groove, and I think they're starting to kind of figure it out, getting around Joe Burrow's injury. And as of right now, they sit at 2-3, and coming up on this next game, there's a big difference between 2-4 and 3-3 for playoff chances, and making the playoffs and possibly winning the division. So I think this is a huge game in the season for them, just based off the record standpoint. And there's another small tidbit that with the Seahawks traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast, basically Ohio, it's a 1:00 kickoff, so they have about a 3-hour difference. So that's 10 o'clock their time. So I think that actually makes a huge difference in the final. So I think Cincy wins this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Bengals definitely looked, again, I don't like to back the Bengals because fuck the Bengals.
Yeah.
But they looked back to form last week. I know they struggled a lot in the first few weeks, but they look like they're back to being what we've seen from them the last 2-3 years with Joe Burrow, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did forget to mention this earlier. I'm sure our Supreme Leader would have already put the graphic up. But I did want to go ahead and mention we are both 7-8 on the year so far. I'm currently down 1.25 units. Blake is currently sitting right here with me at -1.27. I know.
It's close.
I know it is very close, but we are both 7-8 on the year. But again, brighter days are ahead.
True.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get my player prop real quick. And again, I've said this countless times. I don't like picking just Ohio State players, and it's not like I'm personally picking just Ohio State players, but I have the statistical data when I try to pick these things, and I always feel bad. I'm like, oh crap, I picked CJ Stroud again. Oh crap, I picked Justin Fields again. Oh crap, I
Yep.
picked, I don't know, Ezekiel Elliott. I would never do that, but again, just an example. I'm not trying to do that, but it unfortunately that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
So Supreme Leader will definitely call me out on that again. But screw you, Tim. Show up to the show if you wanna talk that shit. But yeah, so I'll stick here with my player prop. We're going to Michael Thomas over 49.5 receiving yards. I got this at minus 110 on Bet365 this morning. When I do my research, I try to look for two big things specifically. I try to look for does this player have the stats to statistically back up this line, and then I try to make sure that the matchup makes sense. Like, is this a favorable matchup for this player or specific game? And I think both of these are a pretty good line. So Michael Thomas has crossed this line of 49.5 receiving yards. We'll just call it he needs 50 receiving yards. It's simpler to say it that way. But Michael Thomas has 50 receiving yards in all 5 games this year. So far this season, he's had 65, 53, 50, 55, and 61 yards this season. So he's very consistently hanging around at that 50 to 60 yard mark every single game, which is perfect. I mean, that's going over every single time. A win's a win. We're not asking for anything more than 50. We need exactly 50. So that's the statistical side of this. And if we look at the matchup, Michael Thomas plays for the Saints, and the Saints are playing at the Texans this week. Vegas predicts this to be a pretty close game. The Saints are minus 1.5. So again, pretty close game. They have the Saints very smallly favored here. But last week, the Texans gave up 329 passing yards to Mr. Checkdown King, Desmond Ridder. And I think you could probably argue that Derek Carr is just a better version of Desmond Ridder. I don't think very highly of Desmond Ridder, but Carr, especially with that shoulder injury, he is, I would say, Checkdown King plus. He definitely loves to sling it. Getting Kamara a few weeks ago, 13 catches in one game. Like, what are you doing? But I think Carr is better than Ridder, and I think he's got way better weapons than the Falcons have on offense. They got Michael Thomas, they got Alvin Kamara, they got Chris Olave. But I really like the spot for Michael Thomas, and I really hope for him to keep up his consistent ways and get us at least 50 receiving yards this week.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize he went over that 50 mark like every week. He's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I guess he's kind of quietly been having a decent year, I guess. He's going over 50 every game. And then you're definitely an Ohio State homer. Just because I know exactly how it is, because I want to take a Steelers pick every week, but I try not to. So I know how that is.
Hey, I'm 6-3 in the last 3 weeks, so that's all I can say right now. But
There you
it's
go.
working. I got a process and it's working.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, but Michael Thomas has definitely been flying under the radar this year. Like, I didn't think 50 yards is not a bad game, but he's
Yeah.
having quietly a pretty under the radar season so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to move into my player prop. So I'm going to stay with the Bengals and Seahawks game. And I'm going to go Jamar Chase over 85.5 receiving yards. And I got that at minus 120 on DraftKings. So obviously we all know he's coming off a huge performance last week, 192 yards on 15 receptions. I think he's the guy who really jump started their offense. I think he, with his media comments, he's just saying like, "Hey, give me the ball. Good things are going to happen." So this year he's averaging 95 receiving yards a game, even though he's either gone off in a game or he's kind of been quiet. Not much in between. But the Seahawks, they give up 220 receiving yards a game to wide receivers, and that's the second highest, only behind the Chargers. So I'm thinking Jamar's going to have another huge game against the Seahawks. It's at home. I think Seahawks are going to be a little rusty, and I think Joe's just going to throw it up to Jamar and give him a chance. And I think he might crush this line easily, and I think the Bengals might roll the Seahawks. So that's
You
that's a
must be
game I like this week.
Yeah, you must be pretty confident sticking in the same game twice. But no,
Yeah.
I could definitely see if worst case scenario, one of those things doesn't happen, the other's probably going to happen. I really feel good about that.
Hmm.
Um, T. Higgins going out of the lineup definitely
Yeah. Is
affects who
he?
he's
Is
out.
he? He's out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think he broke his ribs. So I don't think he's going to be playing anytime soon.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah, and I think I saw something like I don't remember his name. It's something Irvin. He had like he had the second most targets with like 12 or something
Hmm.
last week.
Huh.
So Joe Burrow is definitely picking and choosing outside of Jamar Chase. So that feels good. All right, shameful lock time. I'm before I go ahead and give my pick, I do want to go ahead and say real quick. So my original pick was going to be 49ers -4. But the line has been going crazy off because apparently Deshaun Watson was questionable all week. And then it got ruled about 2.5 hours ago that Deshaun Watson was out. So my original pick was 49ers -4 and Dolphins -6.5. I was doing another parlay. But since the odds I got on that are no longer available because of the news of Deshaun Watson coming out, I'm going to go ahead and change the lines. Just because I want to make sure that if I'm giving out a pick, I want to make sure that it's something that is available to everyone who is watching. I'm not going to go ahead and give a pick and be like, well, sorry, guys, you missed it, even though you guys aren't going to see the video till the next day. So I want to try and be as fair as I can, be fair to the public here. So new original shameful lock for me. I already placed my bet in for the other one, so I could technically win and this could lose, but I'm only going to track what I'm about to say towards my final record. So I'm going with 49ers -6.5 versus the Browns and the Dolphins -6.5 versus the Panthers. You can parlay those together for +113 value on Caesars. So I'm going with another parlay this week, and I know parlays can get a little messy. So if I do another parlay here in the future, I'm gonna just try to stick to 2 legs. I feel like it could get complicated if I do anything more than that. But that being said, people that know me can attest to this. I'm a sucker for alt lines, man. You start talking alt lines, you start parlaying some alt lines, I'm in. If you could take some watered down lines and get plus money out of it, I'm there all day. So like I said, the original line, if you looked at Tuesday, we'll start with the 49ers here. 49ers are traveling to the Browns, and the original line Tuesday morning was 49ers -4. But since then, the line is currently, I think, 8.5, 9.5, for good reason. Without your quarterback, I think they're starting PJ Walker. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're starting PJ Walker against the 49ers, I don't think that's going to go too well. I know the
No.
weather is not going to be very, very great as what they're predicting. I think the over under for this game, I think is at like 37.5, just because they know it's going to be,
Yeah.
rumor has it, be pretty rainy and gross and windy in Cleveland, like it usually is in Cleveland. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to read through my notes here, but I have Watson may not play. That's confirmed. Watson is not playing.
Yeah.
But I still think the Browns are going to get whacked, especially without Watson. I've lived in Ohio my entire life, and there's a few things I know to be true. One of them is the Browns don't win big games, nor do they like to keep them close. I could easily, especially without Watson, I could see the Browns losing by 20 plus here. The Browns defense is good this year. I'll give them credit. They are good. But when you play a team that's as good as the 49ers, you can only be good for so long. Your defense is going to get real tired real quick, and it's just going to be like a floodgate. I think the 49ers could easily win this, and I think it could be a blowout, especially without Sean. Especially if the Browns offense isn't going to give the Browns defense any time to rest in between. If they're going to go 3-and-out, 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 that defense is going to be gassed. So that is leg one of my shameful lock, 49ers -6.5. Leg two, we're going to Panthers at Dolphins. I'm also taking Dolphins -6.5. I think this one doesn't really need much statistical background here. I think this is about as simple as it gets. We're taking the Dolphins, who are 5-1 or 5-1. They haven't had their bye week, right?
The Dolphins are 4-1.
4-1. Okay, thank you. So they're 4-1, and they're playing the 0-5 Carolina Panthers. Again, the Dolphins offense is on pace to set tons of records this year when it comes to the offense, whether that's passing yards, rushing yards, statistical points and stuff like that. And the Panthers just stink, man. Bryce Young just has not looked very good yet. The offense looks bad. The best offensive weapon they have is old Adam Thielen. The Panthers D, not bad, but again, like I just talked about with the Browns, if your offense is going to consistently be going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out versus a good defense, your defense is going to get gassed real quick. So go ahead and give me the Panthers -6.5 as well, parlaying that together with 49ers -6.5. Let's run away with this shameful lock. Hopefully we can go 2-0 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I actually love both of those picks. One, I think the 49ers steamroll the Browns. Browns are the Browns, factory sadness, all of the above. Deshaun Watson, he's just like he's a crumb bum, man. Like the fact he's not playing is, I mean, like is it bad? I feel bad for Cleveland because he's kind of just like hosing them. He's kind of just stealing 240 million, like nothing. Anyways, and then I think the Dolphins at home versus the Panthers. I think they win by touchdown easily. So
yeah,
I like both those picks. I might even ride that. So I might ride that parlay.
Yeah, plus money. I mean, come on now. You need both of the two of the best teams in the league to win by a touchdown versus crappy teams.
Yeah,
give it to me all day.
Right. Okay, so I actually like the Dolphins so much that my shameful lock is going to be Raheem Mostert over 69.5 rushing yards. And I got that at -115 on DraftKings. So one of the big things is Achan. He just went to IR. He was kind of their new leading back. And then Jeff Wilson, he's still on IR. I'm not sure if he's back yet. But even if he is back, I don't expect him to be a huge contributor to that offense. So Mostert, he's going to be the lead guy against that Panthers defense, which gives up the second most rush yards in a game to running backs at 128 yards a game. Right now, Mostert's averaging 5.4 yards a carry, and teams are carrying the ball 24 times a game against the Panthers. So rough math, he needs about 14 carries to break that 69.5 rush yards. So, I mean, I think the Dolphins steamroll the Panthers, and they might be running the ball a lot in the second half. So, yeah, I think he shatters this, that mark, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you already proved that you're good at this running back line as of last week. But yeah, like you said, the Panthers have a terrible rush defense, and I mean he's their only running back on the active roster that's worth a damn right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not good, but Mostert is very good. But I mean, I don't know who their other running backs are.
No, I don't. I'm not sure. Really have no idea.
I love that too. I also really like that. I think we're looking really good for our shameful locks this week. Hopefully we can continue to ride the success of last week and go a total 4-0 on those. That would feel great to go on our best bets. But
would be.
You know what it's time for? Our one more thing time. We started this last week. Again, we're not writing this towards our total records, but this is just going to be a little fun thing we do. One thing, because we always want to take like a touchdown score for our player props, but they're so risky to do, man. Because like, say like you need somebody to get in the end zone and he gets stopped at the 1 yard line, that they're probably just going to do a QB sneak or hand it to the running back. I mean, that sucks when you have like a wide receiver or tight end or something like that. So touchdown scoring props are always so hard. So what we're doing here is, again, not counting towards our record. Both of our favorite people to be an anytime touchdown scorer of the week. Last week we did not win that, unfortunately. Blake cashed his though. He had Bijan Robinson touchdown, and I had Anthony Richardson touchdown. Anthony Richardson left the game mid-second quarter with a AC joint. He is now on IR. But this week, we're gonna see what we got here. We are 0-1, unfortunately, with these, but come on, we got this.
Yeah.
So this week, I'm riding with, for the joint TD parlay, I'm going with DJ Moore anytime touchdown. You can get this about plus 185-ish on a few different books. But like I mentioned earlier, I think the Bears are turning it around on offense. Moore has been Fields' favorite target so far, and he has a touchdown in the last 3 games, including 3 touchdowns in the last game against Washington. I think Fields will keep throwing to Moore early and often. knowing he has had a lot of success doing so recently. He's his go-to guy. I feel like he's pretty easy enough there.
Yeah. So, I mean, last week I completely guessed. So this week I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs versus New England. I think New England is terrible. I think they're just a deflated team, and I think they're done. They might lose every game the rest of the season, honestly. And I have no idea what the line is. Gabe, did you get that
Yeah, it was
number?
-125.
Minus 125. Okay. So not the greatest odds, but I mean, what are you going to do? So,
Hey, that's okay. I got you, because when you parlay these two things, we went ahead and parlayed these on Bet365. Josh Jacobs touchdown and DJ Moore, you get +417. So again, we're just throwing a few bucks on this. I think I threw $10 on it this morning to win $41. Again, it's just for fun, but
yeah.
it's something that we'll definitely track and see how we're doing on this.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. Closing remarks? Anything? You got one more thing for me?
Nope. Well, I guess, Steelers bye week. So, it'll be a nice, relaxing weekend. Won't to worry about a heart attack or being super stressed out the whole day of Sunday. So, yeah, it'll be nice.
Yeah, I won't have to watch boring shit.
Yeah, basically.
Should not have beat the fucking Ravens. That was.
We'll take it.
I had some guy to come into me at work and be like, "Hey, aren't you happy the Steelers won?" I was like, "No, that fucking sucked."
You don't get it, man. You don't get it.
I was like, "Yeah, dude, you don't get it." He goes, "But your team won. They're 3-2. You should be happy."
Mhm.
No, no, we look like shit. That'll do it for us. Week 6 here. Hope you enjoyed our picks. If you have any comments, if you want to tell Blake he has cool hair, drop them down below. Tell me to shave. I'm trying, man. I'm working here. All right, come on. Tail my picks and tell me next time to shave. All right. But yeah, that'll wrap us up for week 6. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. And out.